This is what I always tell the girls. It's not about the look, because it's mostly about the personality.
What does a brothel manager do?
And we basically oversee like the whole club. And I think the biggest part of our job is actually to take care of the women working with us. So we do the interviews, we speak with them about like their personal issues, about work issues if they want to.
Outside of kind of what you're doing, it sounds like a basic managerial job.
It is actually, it is, because that's what I always try to tell people. I mean, like, we are like a normal company, you know. If you would see our working meetings, it's actually pretty boring, you know. It's a lot of like spreadsheets, you know, a lot of the statistics and those kind of stuff, you know.
How did you get into it?
When I was little, I wanted to be archaeologist, and then I kind of shifted towards psychology. And then like one day, one night, I discovered this article, and it was with one of the guy. He's actually now my colleague. And I discovered this article, and it was named "They Call Me Pimp, but I Protect Women." And it was with a manager of a brothel, and he spoke about the business, you know, how they do the business, how they treat women, and he also spoke about sexuality. It was just so great that I decided, like, at that moment, I decided I want to apply for this position. And I remember I was standing in front of the building. It's like a huge building. And I was standing there and I was like, should I do it? And then I just decided, yeah, let's just go for it. And I remember like the moment when I walk in, everything was just so normal, you know. There was like customer care service, there was IT department, HR department, then I met the owner, you know, and I imagine like him, you know, wearing fake fur, you know, maybe some golden chains. And he was like a normal guy, you know. So I went like, I think through like 3 rounds of the selection process. And at the end, like they basically offered me the job, and it's been 8 years. No, it's 9 years now, and I'm still there.
What do you like about it?
Just everything, you know. I mean, I love the industry. I like seeing people enjoying themselves, you know, seeing their fantasies, to be around sexuality. And also the women in the industry, they are amazing, you know, and it's amazing to see them like growing up, like personally, you know.
Are you a naturally very sexual person? Like, was there an aspect of that drew you to it?
For sure, you know, I mean, I'm a regular swinger. So I like to be around, you know, sexuality. I like to do it more than talk about it. So being in the industry kind of makes sense for me, you know.
You were a what?
Swinger, swinger
Oh,
spa.
okay. And that's men and women, or women and women, or like I get confused as to the
You
definition of
can
that
get
one.
like all the.
Doing the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your typical day like?
There is actually like no typical day. You never know, and this is also what I like about the job. It's like you never know what is coming. Sometimes you can get like very slow nights, you know, nothing is happening, everything is pretty quiet, and you just watch some Netflix or something, or just chat with the girls or our employees. And then you get like nights when you just walk in, and then you need to call an ambulance, call a police, you know, then something is on fire. Like literally, something is on fire, you know, like once we get a customer and he just set one of the trash bins on fire, you know. And it was on the same night when we needed to call an ambulance and the police. So I was like, holy shit, what is happening here, you know? But this is not very typical. But so I start at 7 p.m. and I finish at 6 a.m. So I work night shifts. I work night shifts only. And so usually at the beginning of the night, I just go through like reports. We use like a CRM system for reporting. I go through the emails to just see basically what happened the previous night. And then at the beginning of the night, I have interviews with a new girls that want to work with us. that usually takes a while, it's like one interview usually takes like 30 minutes, like minimum. So I usually sit down with them to have a coffee, to chat. I introduce the club and I explain them like the basic rules, how we work. Because with us, the women are independent contractors, and that means that we never tell them what kind of services they should do. We have a few women that they don't even do like a full service. They specialize in like BDSM type of the thing, or we have a one girl and she specialized in squirting. So all she does is just like this huge squirt.
So it's her job.
Yeah, then we have a few girls doing like a lesbian shows, so they don't have a sex with the customers, but they offer like lesbian shows together. So it's up to them what kind of services they would like to provide.
What would you say is kind of your biggest challenge?
This is a hard question. I mean, since we operate legally, I don't face that many obstacles because like I can do what I want to do. Like I don't need to be scared of the police, Actually, when there is some problem, we can call the police because we operate legally. So for me as a manager, I would say like probably like very drunk customers, this is the worst. And that's when the shitty part starts, because sometimes they can get aggressive, or they have this amazing idea that they need to get naked, and show everybody their dick. And I'm like, look, we are not this kind of place. I mean, you can do this, somewhere else, but not here.
When you interview the girls, like, is there a certain type of girl or a certain type of characteristics that you're looking for?
Well, you either need to like people, or you need to be like a really good actress. So some of the girls, they are like very good with people, you can see that they are like very warm, empathic, those kind of personal traits. And some of them, like I would say very small percentage, they really hate people, but they are like such a good actress that you actually believe them, that they care about you. You need to be able to communicate with people in different languages, people that are drunk, drugged. You need to handle all the situations. Sometimes the situation, especially in the room, it can get like a little bit out of the hand. And we have the security system, there is security, there are like panic buttons in the rooms. But you also need to be handled by yourself sometimes, So you should be good with communicating with people.
I know this is kind of a broad generality. Would you say that most of the women who are working, do they want to be there? Or is this more, this is the avenue I have to provide for myself?
Well, the motivation of the workers is like very diverse. So a lot of the girls are coming into the industry and they are like, yeah, I heard I can make like a really good money here, and they can, it's like the best earning girls with us, they are making 50,000 euros per month, so like you can't say, yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot.
If I do this math correctly, 50,000, that's like 600,000 euros a year, which would be like, I don't know what that is in dollars, but like, let's call it $750,000.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. So like, you can't just ignore the money, It's like, that the money are there. And for some, it's like a huge motivation to join the industry. But also there are girls who come to the industry and they are like, I don't want to have the boss. I want to have my freedom. I want to decide about when I will take my holidays, about how much I will work. And this is also like one of the biggest motivations, So most of the girls, they stay for the freedom. Some of the girls, they are like very, very sexually active. So they often come in and they're like, look, either I will have like a bad sex for zero money, or I will have a sex and, earn some money. And that kind of makes sense. Then we have like also girls just coming in and they're like, I always wanted to do this, So for them, it was like something that they always wanted to try. And they just come in and they just try it. For some, it kind of clicks. For some, it really doesn't work. And there's also like a lot of the customers coming in and they bring you gifts, like Chanel handbags, and they are bringing you to very luxurious holidays. So
Yeah. I mean, from the outside, like it sounds great. I'm my own boss. I make a lot of money and I do something that most people find enjoyable. Is there a cost to pay down the road?
you ask about the price that is to pay, and you mentioned the stigma, but the stigma is actually something very external, it's something that society impose on you. It's not like, because the girls, they are coming to work and they are like, I really like this work, but I can't say this in front of my friends, because they would judge me, but I feel good here, so like you can see like the stigma is very external thing, so it's not about the job, but it's about the society view on the job.
Oh, that's a very good way to put it. And that makes sense to me, right? Like,
Yeah.
are you ready for some harder slash listener submitted questions?
Yes, I'm ready.
For the clients, more regulars or more first timers?
More first timers, I would say, because we are very big. So every Friday or like Saturday, there are like 500, 600 people coming in. So we have a lot of regulars, but I would say like 70% of them, they are like first timers.
Why do people usually come?
Mm. This is also like the motivation of the people is like super diverse as well. So sometimes we have a people coming in and they want to lose their virginity, or they want to teach something, they want to learn something about sex. So they are like maybe a little bit unsure, like, am I a good lover? Maybe I can improve myself like in a sexual way. So they are coming in and they are asking the girls, to give them some sort of advices, which I think is great. Then we have like obviously a lot of people just coming in and they want to have like quick, very easy sex, and that's it. We have a lot of people. They are like super successful. They are wealthy. They are like business type of the people, and they are coming in and they are like, I don't have a time to pick some chick in the bar. It's like, I don't have a time for it. I don't have energy for it. I just like rather pay, sex worker 2,000 euros per day or like per night. We will have a nice dinner. We will have a nice chat. I know that sex is included, and then I can just go home. Uh, we have a lot of people that are disabled. They are coming in, and some of the sex workers, they can actually work with those kind of people, which I think is amazing. We have a lot of very old gentlemen. We have, construction workers coming in, because we are so big that there's like literally like all the possible groups. We have a
How
women
many?
coming in.
Oh, how common is it to have women? So do you have men that are working there? Or do you have,
No, no, no. These women are just coming to, to have some sort of experience with another woman.
like if you put a percentage on that,
Okay, like the guys are 99% and girls are 1%.
how much does a brothel make?
A lot. I'm not quite sure if I'm allowed to say the numbers, but a lot.
Would can you say like, if we looked at it in a month,
Mm-hmm. It's hundreds of thousands euros.
can it hit seven? So a million euros a month?
Nah, I don't think so.
And for the girls, how much can they make?
Like there is no limit. I mean, seriously, there is no limit. I know that the best earning girls with us, they are making like 50,000 euros per month, but there is just like no limit. I mean, I saw customers paying enormously huge price for like one a night. So if you can get like a lot of those customers per month, you can like earn a lot.
Why would somebody be paying so much per night? Like, what would they be paying for that the price would be that high?
Well, it's not because of the services, you know. At this point, I mean, we have a lot of not a lot, but sometimes it happens, you know, that there are customers coming in and they're like, my budget is this, you know. For example, they say like, my budget is 10,000 euros, and I just want to spend this here in one night, and just do what you want. So these people, they already like have some sort of money they want to spend in their mind, or sometimes this happens as well. I mean, they have a lot of money, obviously, and the girls are like very good with their sales skills. So they basically tell them like, look, maybe I can bring a friend, you know, maybe we can go there, maybe we can order this. Do you want this special service? Or maybe another friend will come, and that's like how it basically adds up.
From a sexual standpoint, is there anything that the brothel considers off limits? Like you can't do that.
I mean, since we don't tell the girls what they should do, it's up to them. If they will decide that they will want to do something very crazy, I mean, most of them, they wouldn't do it, you know, because they really value their health. So there's like no point of risking your health for like a couple of thousands euro, you know, because she knows that she will make it like this money the next day, you know. So there is like no point of like pressuring yourself to do, because there is like a lot of customers coming in and they are like, I will give you, I don't know, XYZ, and we will have a sex without a condom. And most of like 100% of the girls, they are like, are you crazy, you know? There's like no amount of money that would be worth it for this, you know, because it's your health, so you need to protect
Yeah.
yourself. And if you're not healthy, you can't work.
Um, is there a physical type of girl that seems to do the best? Like the blondes do the best, the redheads, the brunettes, the thicker
Actually,
girl,
no,
the
because
skinny
this,
girl.
because it's not about the look. This is what I always tell the girls. It's not about the look, because it's mostly about the personality and your sales skills. So we have one girl, and she's like a little bit chubby, not a typical I mean, if you would see her on the street, you wouldn't say she's a sex worker, not at all, you know. She doesn't fit into any of those kind of columns, but she's like a little bit chubby. I think she's like 50 now, maybe 55, and she is so nice, she's so kind, but she doesn't use any makeup. She doesn't have like any like facial things, you know. She doesn't have like any liposuctions and those kind of stuff. But she's just so amazing. Like her personality is so great, and she's one of the best earning girls. So this is not about the looks. This is just about the personality and like how good you can be around people and how you can make them feel. And also the sales skills, you know, you need to be able to communicate about the service and those kind of stuff. And
If
she
you
does
had
like
to
the
come,
and she does like the normal service. She doesn't do anything crazy.
do you participate?
Never. I mean, as a manager, I can't do that. And I mean, there's like it's like a lot of the people coming in to me, and they are like, "So are you one of the working girls?" And I'm like, "No, I'm a manager." And they're like, "Yeah, but can I still go to the room with you?" And I'm like, "Nah, sorry, you know, we can't do this."
Yeah, I would think that, like, what about if somebody approaches, like, the IT worker or the human resources? Like, I came from the brothel and I know that this is the woman, but this girl in IT looks, I really like that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as a girl, you know, this happens. But I always explain them like, look, I just can't do this. You know, there are like many beautiful women. I'm sure that you will find the one that fits you the best.
What would you say is kind of like most busiest or busiest times of the year, busiest times of the day? So,
Valentine's
so,
Day,
Valent? But shouldn't
because
people be?
nobody wants to be alone.
Are there other days that you would say compare with that?
Or New Year's Eve. The New Year's Eve is coming now, and it's always crazy. It's always my shift, and it's it's super quiet until like 3 a.m. And like 3 a.m. It's like everybody walks in, and it's crazy, and I very rarely finish at 6 a.m. It's like New Year's Eve. I know all the time that I will be there until like 8 or something, and this is a mess. But it's like a huge night, yeah.
Is there an age range of customers?
So they are able to come in when they are 18 and 18 plus, and then like we don't have any upper limit.
Do parents ever bring their children?
I mean, sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. Fathers, they do this,
I can see that.
And but I think it's like three weeks ago or something. We had a guy, and he was disabled, and on a wheelchair, and his parents brought him in, and they helped him, to choose a girl. They help him with everything. So I think this is nice.
I do too, honestly. Like, let the guy have his day. I mean, and some people, like, I'm sure that there's things that would never happen for them otherwise.
Yeah, yeah.
Thing you learned as you went along. I feel like every job, you start a job, and you didn't know that. And then you learned that thing. What would you say, like, oh, I learned this working as a brothel manager?
I learned a lot about different types of relationships, and now I can definitely appreciate different type of the relationships more, because before that, like in the mainstream culture, there's this notion that like either you have like this long-term relationship that it's like forever, or you have some sort of like fuck buddy, and there are like different types of the relationships. There's like polyamory, very open relationships. I've met people staying in relationships because the person was their soulmate, but there is no sex, and they are fine with this, and it's like a mutual agreement. So I definitely can appreciate like more the variety of relationships. And like I used to not judge people, but I was like, this is odd. But so I don't do this anymore. It's like whatever works. If it works, it's just okay.
Do you ever have, like, the wife showing up looking for her husband?
Yes, of course. And this is always awkward, because um, she can walk in as any other customer, as long as she pays the entrance. So this is happening not quite often, but it happens sometimes because the guys they forget to turn off the location sharing,
Location on there, yeah.
Exactly. And then the wives they are like, my husband is here. And we're like, yeah, but we don't know where, this is like super big. So um we will not help you to find him, but you're like free to go in, we can't stop you. And yeah, but once actually we had this couple and they came in together. It was my shift, and they wanted to speak with manager. I was like, oh my god, what happened, And they sat down, and she was like, so me and my husband, we have this fantasy that I will be like a dirty whore and he will pay for me. And I was like, okay, so how can I help you? And she was like, well, I have all the documents here and I want to rent the room. Is it possible? And I was like, yeah, it's possible, So I went through the interview with her, I explained her the rules, It was clear that she wants to try just for one day, but I still like to make sure that she knows everything. And then, so I basically took her to the room, I just gave her the key, and she's like, thank you so much. She, changed her clothes, and she was standing there waiting for the husband. He came in because, I was a little bit, curious. So I kind of, checked the situation out, and he just walked in and he was like, for how much? And, they played the role, and it was so nice,
Good for them.
It was amazing, I think that they spent the whole night there, and then she just, I never saw her anymore, but yeah, I think this was amazing, and I like this.
Do you ever have people who don't know that their wives are working there?
Yes, we actually had a couple, and there was one of the workers, and she always she doesn't work with us anymore. And she always come in on Mondays. Like she exclusively worked on Mondays. And we became like a little bit of friends, so she showed me like the picture of her husband, the kids, those kind of stuff. And then we had the husband coming in for Fridays. So he was our customer. Yeah. And they actually never met, but we knew it's them because, he became friend with us as well. So at some point he was like, yeah, I mean, I love my wife, but we don't have any sex anymore. I think that she doesn't like sex anymore. So that's the reason why I come here. And actually at some point, this kept going for months. And at some point, she was like, yeah, well, maybe I should try like Friday shifts because on Friday I can probably make like more money. And I knew that the husband is coming in on Fridays. So I was like, no, just stay on Mondays. It will be the best, Fridays are full. So just, stay on Mondays. And at some point he was like, yeah, well, maybe, Fridays are like very busy. And I'm like, I'm scared that somebody will see me here. Maybe I should, start to come here on Mondays or Tuesdays. I was like, no, stay on Fridays. Fridays are good,
They never ran into each other.
No. And then she left the business, and like few weeks later, he also disappeared. So I have no idea what happened, but I just find it's interesting, It's like you live next to the person and like you don't know.
You never really know who somebody is. I've been married for 10 years, happily married, but even my wife talk about it like you never really know. You never really know.
Yeah, we have a lot of girls and they have husbands, and the husbands, they have no idea.
Most common name.
Jennifer.
Sorry, I interrupted.
Jennifer.
Why Jennifer?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Are there other ones that like, here we got another?
I mean, Jennifer, Vanessa, Emma is very popular. Those kind of names. Like the normal ones, nothing crazy. Tiffany. Yeah.
How long would you say women usually stay in it?
This is very different. I would say like the average is like 5 years. But some of the women, they basically decided that they will make this, their like lifelong career. So they stay as long as they can.
You're working on research, or am I confused?
I do.
Okay.
So tell me about your research.
So I have 2 topics. One of the topic is actually to research sex work from organizational point of view. So I research the sex work as a legitimate form of work. So I focus on like work procedures and how the sex work is actually done. So this is one of my topics. And the second one is that I research management of legal sex work.
How would you could say that it compares to like the illegal side of it?
Since it's illegal, the sex work there, it's super dangerous because you never know who is coming. Sometimes the clients can get violent, and so the illegality doesn't really help. The sex work will happen even if it's legal, even if it's illegal. But if you make something illegal, it doesn't mean it will disappear. It will only learn how to hide better, and the people in the sex industry will actually not have any sort of security.
Yeah, I could see that, right? That by making it legal, you make the illegal side so much more dangerous. That's pretty much all the questions we got. Is there anything that you think we missed or anything like that?
I don't know. It's like you need to tell me.
No, I think that was fascinating. If people want to follow you, find out more about you, that kind of stuff, where can they find you?
So there's my Instagram, Catherine the Noire, and you can just basically find me there.